Brain is exploding. Creativity the last 8 days is off the charts. My notepad and my phone has just got post idea, workshop idea, and then variable to test for the next year and a half. So I'm going to share a video now on the post I did this morning that I resurfaced. It's the concept that I don't understand why I got sick, why I was diseased, ill, or injured. I was doing all the right things. I was doing all the healthy things. I don't understand. And this really stemmed from, just what I do clinically and in my life, but it really came to the surface with the Christian McCaffrey injury. Not that you have to be into football, but that's where I kind of started with all this 24 years ago with injuries and performance and training. And then you see that the traits and rules and principles and laws that apply to injury apply everywhere else. And then it just opened up a whole world to me. But he had bilateral Achilles tendonitis. That's the tendon right above your heel. And then it metastasized into a torn PCL. It's a knee ligament. And that you could predict, one, injury in NFL, but two, with his expression of being bilateral, you just know the next metastasis is coming because he's not abiding by the rules. He's not playing by, and pro sports doesn't. You have to sacrifice and give a lot to be able to exist in that and antagonize your body purposefully. And so that's the agreement that you have with self, but we don't go into it with an agreement. We go into it with this, try to control and do all the right things. And then out comes this confusion proven by his tweet where he said, you can do all the right things, but this happens. And there's just stuff you just can't control. I'm not saying it's all controllable. I'm not saying there's forces interacting between us and worlds and each other and ether and plasma and all these other things. That's not what I'm talking about, but you can make sense and take an active role in everything that you have access to right now, and it can make sense. And it's not that preventing injuries or even getting injured is wrong. That's a certainty in life. Symptoms are a healthy person response. Injuries are a healthy person response. It's understanding. That's where I have a problem with it. And it's I was doing all the right things. And then this happened. And why I'm so passionate about this post is it's the hopelessness and despair and fear that we have created within our own selves from looking at doing all the right things and all the healthy things. And then when the body responds perfectly, sometimes predictably, and we look at it as this thing that attacks us or doesn't let us do the things we love or the things that we are good at to provide for our families or to drive passion and purpose and explore and create, and then we are living inside this thing that we're just terrified of that's going to turn on us at any given moment if we don't do all the right things. And even if we do all the right things, it doesn't matter anyway. And that's what I'm here to dispel, because I can't fucking stand that way of life. I cannot stand looking people in the eyes and seeing them. It breaks my heart to work with them clinically, and that's where they're coming from. Like, I don't understand. I've been doing all the right things. So let's first start where we got to start. The body only heals. That means every single process is a healing response. That's it. There's no negotiation with that. You cannot be on the fence and have both sides. You either own the body only heals, or it's this whole other side, and go with that other side, and it's pathological, it's attacking you, it's specific trait related. There's a single cause, there's a root cause, there's a cure, there's a remedy, go there and stay there. Or maybe there's something else, and there's always something else, because everybody gets frustrated. They're like, this cannot be the life that I was born into. This can't be the best it gets. No, I'm here to tell you there's something else over here. So the body only heals. Every response, blood pressure changes, heart rate changes, hormone shifts, which you shouldn't even know your heart rate or your blood pressure or your hormones, other than just, wow, I can feel my heart's getting faster. I can feel my temperature changing. I feel cold. I can feel hot. I'm sweating. I'm shivering. I'm scared. I'm ambitious. I'm in love. I'm horny. I'm nervous. I'm low. I'm hungry. I'm full. I'm tired, I'm energetic. I feel, I want to be active, I want to be slow. And so again, you can go with, fingernail growth to blister turning to callus to, force on the end of bone turning into a bone spur. You can go herniated disc from a tight low back, from tight hamstrings to go tight low back, tight hamstrings, herniated disc, all healing responses. Tendonitis, healing response. Torn ligament, response to the healing response. Vomiting, fevers, diarrhea, solid constipation, healing response. Weight gain, fat gain, muscle loss, muscle gain, healing response, healing response. Just think about this. In times where you don't have sustenance or you're costing energy more than you're taking in, your body's going to use up bone and muscle to fuel you. That's muscle wasting. Is that pathological? No, that's fucking absolute perfect healing response to how you're living. If it didn't do that, you would not be here. It knows this. Your spirit would not be able to stay contained here. Your mind's going to have to make decisions and take this on and remember that this happened to apply to something else. So again, we have to start from that point. Why does your body rot its fingers off or dissolve its fingers and toes off when you're in a frostbitten scenario? To save the vital organs. Is that pathological? Oh my God, they lost their fingers on Everest. So that's pathology. If you apply it there, you have to apply it to not on Everest at any given time, because it doesn't matter. The process is going on to survive us on Everest, or the process is going on to survive us at a fucking picnic table or at Christmas dinner or in pro sports or in, cinema or whatever we've got, whatever you choose to do, wherever you are in the world. The human body only heals. Start there. Now, what are all the right and healthy things? They are a business model or a story They're a story created by news, media, television, organizations, groups, practitioners, licenses, degrees, all these things, coaching certifications, all this stuff, to create a story around these things stop or prevent the healing responses, stop or prevent injuries. So now, with that story, and that has nothing to do with pharma and allopathic. I said the most dangerous people in the world from 2020 was when I was saying this are the health conscious people. And you will see where this is headed. And we're not health conscious, we're disease in illness. We're like twisted story conscious. We're like do things to not have these expressions, do things to not die, do things to not get injured, do things to not have your body you all of a sudden. That is how we are living. That's all the right and healthy things to counter the healing response. The healing responses, all that I listed and all the infinite ones that'll ever come out of your body, are not to be corrected. They are also not turned on at that moment. They're always there. You can't stop healing. It's always happening. You can't stop bleeding. You can't stop the process of bleeding, stop the process of a heart going faster or slower when you're nervous or you see something. Like, you can't stop these things. So healing's going to happen. It's automatic. It's for you to understand your life. It's for you to understand what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, and the depths of everything that's going to touch that. And when you're living in a different way and experiencing things all different, not to fix or correct these things, not to prevent or correct these things, but to go, never tasted food with this person that cares about me so much, and then all of a sudden, my skin totally, I didn't even know. I wasn't doing it. I didn't fall in love to fix my skin. I didn't have the conversation to leave the relationship to fix my skin. I didn't, move to the mountains to prevent injuries, or I didn't move to the city or go. You're not doing it to fix, heal, solve, cure, remedy, or prevent anything. And that's where the story of there's right and wrong and good and bad and healthy and not healthy, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Because then you will have everybody. We're not strangers to passionate, detailed, kind of obsessive work. And what people have become is obsessive around all these things, to do all the right things and live in the right state and live under and hide from all this stuff and correct it. And then the body has a response that's a healing response that's going to be there all the time. There's always going to be healing. There's always going to be injuries for you to understand. And then they're sitting there like, what the fuck? I'm doing all this stuff. Why is it? Oh, and here's the biggest problem with that. You have this aura around, I did all the right stuff, but this thing I'm inside of doesn't matter anyway. It still is it's flawed, it's unnatural, it needs to be naturally balanced. I need help, I need somebody to save it, I need a system to fix me, I need somebody to correct this and make me healthy again and do all these things. And then we have confusion, despair, not confusion, despair from the changes we need to make in our lives to understand how we could live differently, to live and experience even harder. I don't want to have the conversation to tell somebody that I don't care about them anymore. I don't want to have the conversation that I know that they're cheating on me. I don't want to have the conversation that I hate my job and I deserve more, or I want to take on my passion, or I want to go. That's the scary part. We should never be scared of the body's response, because the body's response is telling us that we had to do that. The body's response is telling us that there's something more for us. The body's response is telling us that it loves the fuck out of us at all times, no matter how we treat it, no matter how many times you try to get in its way, no matter what story we believe aside from the story that's sitting here in your day-to-day, the proof in your day-to-day. So along the lines of, I did everything right, I did everything healthy, I did everything, or those people are unhealthy and those people are wrong and those people are living and consuming the wrong foods and living in the wrong state and moving the wrong and doing these things. It doesn't work that way. When you look at it from the point of, there is no process that is ever wrong from the body's standpoint, and those processes are not to be fixed, they're to be understood. If you fix, treat, prevent, or do anything from them, you miss the understanding, and the body will cycle back and create another opportunity for you to understand, or put it in another area of the body for you to understand even more. That's why we have stuff that looks like it metastasized all over, injuries metastasize, there's multiple layers of cycles of chronic ankle sprains, chronic, concussions, childhood, teenage, 20s, childhood trauma, it just cycles back until you understand. Because the understanding is the experience of the increased level of life that the body's like, yeah, this is what you wanted, spirit. This is what you wanted, mind. I needed the body to do this. This is it. Not mute, numb, fix, all the right, all the correct, and so as soon as you accept that, all those other stories wash out. And then you start to see exactly what's here for us to see. And then it doesn't mean you don't have symptoms, you don't get injured, but they make sense. And then when that happens, you're like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, thank you, body. All right, what do you need me to see? What do you need me to do? All right, I'm on it. I gotcha, thank you. Amidst the craziness of the feelings that you can't even believe. Sometimes you feel like you want to die. Sometimes you feel like you want to hide away for 2-3 years. Yeah, it's on its own time. Might take 2 or 3 years to grow through this. Might take 2 or 3 years to be slow. Might take a year for that injury to resolve. Is that wrong? Here we go. What's right? What's wrong? What's this? What's that? Is the body telling the truth about how we're choosing to live, trying to get us in a level of understanding? It's up to us, and it will not stop. You cannot stop healing. You cannot stop symptoms. You cannot stop injury. And living a life to prevent or hide or cure or remedy or fix any of those things, cure the healing of my life, it just doesn't make sense across the board. Boom. Happy 2025, everybody. Let's start the year off strong, rolling down a hill, accelerating. Let's go.